It's your girl, Professor Cinephile, and I am back. Sometimes you can kind of pick up on where I'm going to go with something just by how I start this off. So I'm going to start this one off with a sip of wine. Okay. Now, if you're underage, do not drink. Okay. However, okay, I'm doing this for the culture. I'm doing this for my folks on Threads. You can follow me over there as well. Um, I said that I would review the J.Lo movie, right? I didn't know that I had two films to watch. I thought it was just one. But come to find out, it's a movie she made and a documentary about making the movie. So I'm going to get into both of those. All right. Y'all ready? All right, let's go. Okay. Okay. So the first thing is that I watched the documentary first, and that's important because I believe the film, which is called "This Is Me dot 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 Now" or something like that, came out first, and then the documentary "The Greatest Love Story Never Told" came out. I watched "The Greatest Love Story Never Told" first at the recommendation of one of my followers, and so I mean, I'm just gonna go with it. All right. First of all, y'all should know I am from the Bronx, New York. I'm actually from the Bronx. Like, I spent a cool 30 years of my life living in the Bronx. If that much, let me see. Altogether, let's say 28. I don't know. I'm from the Bronx, like full flood, full-fledged from the Bronx. And as much as J.Lo talks about being from the Bronx, like we don't claim her. I just want people to know. And I lived for 7 years. I lived maybe a 5-minute walk from where she says she's from. So I was gonna put that out there. I am not a J.Lo fan. And I think that it's important to say that because perhaps that does bias some of what I'm going to say about these awful movies. But at the same time, I felt like I went into it rooting for her. So yeah, I don't know why I was rooting for J.Lo. I don't know. I think part of it is just, especially after watching, I do feel some sadness. Anyway, spoiler alert, you all know how this goes. Stop watching now if you haven't seen them and you don't want them ruined, and then come back when you want to get my thoughts. I don't necessarily need to talk about the film itself as much. It was really bad. And I think the documentary kind of exposes a lot, but then there was parts of me that was like, I don't think this documentary is real. It came across like mockumentary, and I don't know if you all ever watched if you've seen mockumentaries. Sometimes when they're pulled off well, they are so good. And when they're not, they're really bad. And so this kind of had me thinking that it was a mockumentary, which it's not, right? Do I need to go? Somebody fact check me. Like, this is supposed to be a real documentary, right? Okay. So J.Lo wanted to do something that was so much bigger than who she is. And this is not to say that J.Lo is not a huge star. Let's be honest, Jennifer Lopez is a huge star. White folks love them some J.Lo. Or they did love them some J.Lo, right? They didn't like her when she was with Puff Daddy, because it's a little too hood, a little too urban. But when Jennifer is playing white women in films, or when she is toning down that New York thing that she only seems to pop up when she wants to act like she's tough, they like her. They don't like her when she gets to New York, but they like her when she's being Jennifer instead of J.Lo. Let's put it like that. So my issue with the film itself was that not just that it was ambitious. I believe she has the right to be ambitious. I just don't understand why she wanted to make it. Didn't make sense to me. Unless she's trying to be like Beyonce and some other folks. She talked about Michael Jackson in the documentary. And if you haven't seen Moonwalker, maybe I'll do a review for Moonwalker because that's a great movie to talk about. Okay. She wanted to do something like a Moonwalker, something like a Lemonade. I'm guessing something like Janelle Monáe's emotion picture kind of thing. J.Lo is just not that interesting. I've never felt like J.Lo was a creative person. I think she's a very good dancer. I think she's had some film roles that I was just like, oh, J.Lo is doing her thing. But I've never taken her to be like a creative visionary, right? Somebody who's like, boom, I've got these great ideas in my head. She's always kind of struck me as somebody who relies a lot on creative people around her. And I think that's what I saw a lot of in the documentary is that while she was trying to focus it on her and her, life story, um, and all the struggles that she's had in her life, it's really the people that are around J.Lo that are the creative ones and like the really smart business minded ones, right? That's fine. Because listen, you got one or two good talents, you got to focus on that. And then when you start making money, you pay people to do the other stuff that you're not necessarily good at. So I get it. Unfortunately, she was trying to make a very personal, introspective film that was going to show us the real Jennifer Lopez. And instead, it comes across as like this poorly manufactured, like mini movie about somebody that she might know. I didn't believe J.Lo, right? In either the documentary or the film itself. She is just not convincing. She doesn't come across to me as authentic. And I know that there were some clips and stuff going around the internet where, it's showing her acting like, she's like her hair is all tousled and she's just kind of like, yeah, I'm from the Bronx. This reminds me when I used to be on the block or whatever. And it's like, shut up. Like this is so I don't know, it just came across like cosplay. It came across like, those folks that try to act tough or be hard because they think that that gives them credibility. And I hate it. I hate it when black folks do it. I hate it. If you ain't from the hood, you ain't from the hood. That's it. It don't matter. Like you don't need to claim the hood. You don't need to claim, a street life for people to respect you or take you seriously or whatever. But anyway, it seemed like, and I guess because I watched them in reverse, and I will be full disclosure, I was not sober when I watched these. But I think because I watched them in reverse, I saw the This Is Me Now film a lot differently than had I watched it first. So the documentary obviously goes behind the scenes and is really talking about how she went to go make this movie. You find out that she couldn't really get any like the big name stars that she really wanted. And I'm not saying that the people that are in the film are folks that she settled for, but you could tell that like she wanted like Ariana Grande or whatever, and she was busy. Like, all these folks that she was naming that she was trying to get for the film, they didn't want to do it or they were too busy. And she comes up with this idea that, oh my God, they're just scared, like they're scared to put themselves out there. You're talking like actors and actresses and singers who are like doing international tours and all kinds of things, and you're suggesting that they're scared to put themselves out there. Todrick Hall got people to be in his films, like popular people, like talented people, like Tracy Times and Nicole. What's her last name with the Pussycat Doll? I don't want to mispronounce her last name. And Amber Riley and like all these other people. He got plenty of people. It's not that people don't want to put themselves out there. J.Lo, they didn't want to do a movie with you. They didn't want to do J.Lo's Moonwalker. That's it. And when I saw it, I was like, I wouldn't have wanted to do that too. But ultimately, she has Keke Palmer, Trevor Noah, um, Jane Fonda, Neil Tyson deGrasse, the physics guy, the astrophysics guy, and some other people. And it's just like, all right, Oh, Ben is in it, Ben Affleck. Which it's so interesting because when you're watching the documentary, it's really like kind of talking about how the film is loosely based on her life and her struggles as a little kid, being the middle child and not feeling like she got enough love and attention from her parents, and how that led her to being somebody that only relies on herself and doesn't seek help from people, but that she was constantly chasing love, and that's why she's been married so many times, and all these things like that. And it's just like, girl, we don't care. Like, we don't. It's like, you can't take me nowhere. We don't care, J.Lo. We don't. And J.Lo's in her 50s now, and it's like, you've been in this field, this career for decades now. Now all of a sudden you want to tell us that you had some issues growing up. You had plenty of opportunity to do that, you know? And so I'm sorry, it just kind of comes across as like fake. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to just completely shit on her, but baby girl, you just wasted. And she spent her own money, right? So she poured her own money into making this Moonwalker-esque kind of film. And I'm just like, baby, what is you doing? I'm trying not to be an asshole. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking that Moonwalker in Spanish is Caminante Lunar. I'm just gonna call the movie Caminante. But it's so bad. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, so we're supposed to believe that Jennifer Lopez had this really tough upbringing. She experienced emotional neglect, and it led her to be this tough girl from the Bronx, and nobody liked her, and she didn't fit in, and she had no friends. And I was like, because I heard you a bitch. I'm so sorry. Everybody, nearly everybody, talks about how unlikable and horrible a person she is, like in person. So if you was like that as a child, no wonder nobody liked you. No wonder nobody wanted to hang out with you. Like, I'm just saying. See, that's where that bias comes in. All right. You know, cinematically, if we're gonna get technical about some things, she used a lot of CGI, a lot of green screens. The documentary, I felt like the green screen was a damn backdrop for everything. Like pretty much, like I would say, like a good 80% of this film was just done on green screens, and they just filled everything in the back, and you can tell it's really like cheesy and kind of boring, and you're just like, all right, nothing seems authentic or real. I don't know whether that's what she was going for. She wanted it to look like everything is kind of like whatever, but it was poor quality. I don't remember who the director was, but she really struggled to get people to come onto this project. And I can see why. Like, it's one of the things, you ever had a job and you just don't put it on your resume because it's like, damn, I don't want nobody to know I work there. I could see people removing this film from their IMDb. Wasn't nice. But then we're supposed to believe that Ben Affleck is her one true love. And we're learning behind the scenes, like how she had to work through and open up and just go to therapy and all these things to learn how to love this man. And they had to be apart and they had to grow up and all this stuff like that. And now they're divorcing again. I've heard that they're divorcing. And it's really interesting because I've tried that whole spin the block thing and it doesn't always work out, or often doesn't work out. And I was just kind of sitting there like, girl, you might have cursed this relationship by talking about it this much on this damn documentary. And then sure enough, I read that I think she just filed for a divorce. So the greatest love story never told, it still ain't gonna be told because okay, okay. Um, I don't understand this. It's definitely a vanity project. I definitely I agree with people who are saying that, she's trying to keep up with people like a Beyonce or a Taylor Swift, but she's not them. She doesn't have their talent. She was at once an incredible dancer. Um, she's a okay actress. A little better than okay. Um, she can't sing. worth a damn, right? And so this whole thing is about being a singer. So the film, the film itself, This Is Me Now, it's a film based on the album, right? She had that one song that I liked. It was called Rebound. That was actually a good song. They played that in there. I was like, okay. See, I like J.Lo when she's doing the mid-tempo kind of hip hop synthesized kind of thing, very little singing. She can get away with talking more than singing. I like that J-Lo. I like when J-Lo's giving us something that we can maybe dance to, something that doesn't have a lot of her vocals. Those are my favorite J-Lo songs when she's not singing. And so this was a good one. But J-Lo can't sing. And yeah, somebody at some point told her that she was a good singer and that she should make albums. And I 100% disagree with that. I think that dancing and singing are a thing. I think that Selena was probably the best thing that JLo has ever done in her whole life. So that's where I'm coming from with it. Um, let's see. For This Is Me Now, I'm gonna give I'm gonna give her 1.5 hearts, and that is because Jennifer Lewis and Keke Palmer are in it, and I love them. So I'll give her that. For the documentary, I'm gonna give her 1 heart for effort, because she tried. And listen, there's so many of us out here who have not even tried to make movies, not on that level. So, she did something. She made an effort. She tried. It didn't work for me. I'm sure there's people that are her fans that love it. It just didn't work for me. And I need people to be okay with us having different opinions on things. That's one thing that, as somebody who reviews films, I have to be conscious of, because I know that a lot of these like major celebrities have some rather rabid fans who will try to cost you your job if you say that you don't like their favorite person's album or movie or what have you. They'll like swarm on you, and that's very unhealthy behavior. And I know that she has fans that are like that. I think most celebrities do. So I just want, if any of you are watching this, to just accept that someone else can have a different opinion than yours, and that is kind of what humanity is based on. So please don't come for me. All right. Don't watch these films if you don't have to. And if you do, I don't recommend watching them sober. Okay.